This has to be one of Dick Emery's most famous sketches. The police...
Good morning. Welcome to the Dawn Patrol. I'm the host today, Bob Hoey. Next to me, we got City Councilor Sean McDonough.
Hello.
And we got his uncle behind the camera, John McDonough. I'm only joking. They're not related. But as soon as I knew you were on the show today, I come in and says, oh, beautiful. Now I can talk about teachers. Because that's all that's been important to me for the 25 years. You know, I come out of prisons. I dropped out of Lower High in my junior year because I met the right person down there. But so many kids are leaving there, Sean. They can't even tell time, buddy.
Right.
Can't even tell. It's a shame, really.
I just want to remind the audience that you're sitting in for Evelyn and Sam. Evelyn Thorin, Chesfatier, she's doing parade prep today, and Sam Chase is doing some grandfather duties today, so that's why they're not here.
This is an interesting Chelmsford show, then.
Yeah, it is.
It's a Chelmsford Thursday with
I did it
Sean and Bob.
For quite a while with those two people, Sam Chase and Evelyn. I'll tell you, they're two intelligent people like yourself. And but let me get back to what I was going to say to you.
Yeah, go ahead. I just want to make sure we
that's fine.
told the audience where Evelyn and Sam were.
But for years, I spent 7 years on the school committee. I couldn't spend 2 weeks on the one we got right now. I'm just, this is just an opinion show. I'm not happy with the school committee at all, other than having the mayor on there. Thank God we got him there. But I always said, and this is a beautiful thing, every election I'd say, teachers are underpaid. That's all I said. Week after week after week, I got guys coming up to me, right? Hey, thanks, Bob, because their wife's a teacher, And I'm proud of that, giving them a pay raise. And the reason being is I had to work with inmates for 20 years. And believe me, it wasn't a good 20. But I got a small pension, which everybody should go after if they can get it. But teachers today are still, imagine this, still underpaid. Now, he'll jump on me in a minute.
I might jump on a minute.
That's okay. That's okay.
Paycheck, yeah.
But do you have a job right now?
I do.
You do? All right, cool. Teaching?
Yes.
All right. Special ed?
Absolutely.
Oh, man, you're the best. But he's married to one of the nicest women you could ever see. And when I say him, John McDonough behind the camera. And
I got lucky the first time.
And his sister-in-law is awesome, okay? But I used to get this, and I said this on the show so many times, I'm sick of saying it, but I'm going to say it so you know. I went to about 11 different public schools because of divorce, living in housing projects, bouncing all over. But long story short, the one across the street from here is where I got corporal punishment. And I was a guy that just couldn't read. And back in them days, they wanted you to stand up and read in front of all the girls and boys. To go right down the aisle and come up to yours. And as soon as it was getting close to my turn to read, whoop, I'd be doing something to get in trouble. Out in the hallway you go. I either got it on the palm of the hands or on the back of my hands with a pointer. And then I didn't do it again. In certain classrooms, don't do that. Mr. So-and-so. I know all their names. Most of them are dead now. God rest their souls. But the ones that are alive know I'm telling the truth. Oh, man. And the smallest teacher that I ever had in height hit you with a pointer in the back of the hands. An English teacher that puts you right in your seat and you're going to pay attention. But to me, there's no occupation, sorry I'm so long, no occupation like teachers, especially in a city like Lowell, 15,000 students. I don't care about low test scores, and it's all important stuff. What we got in Lowell that Brockton don't have and New Bedford don't have, we got a group of kids in this city, might not be the brightest ones in the world, but they get along. Actually, they get along. We got a fight here and there, and they usually fight right in front of the Bon Marché building that we're renting for about $300,000 a year, that type of stuff. But I'll tell you, man, city council-wise, I've been around a while now. I'll be 72 soon. Quarter of a century anyways, and other than Eric Gitcha, my neighborhood one, Kim Scott, she's been great. I like the city council we got. I really do. I think if they just work together a little bit more, I could only get 5 votes if I was on there. That's all. I know the 5 too, on a certain subject. So I'd be always on a vote about 6-5.
I think that's actually what's nice about the current council, and that's the only one I've been on, is that I don't know if you watched the last meeting, the meeting on Tuesday. I thought was everyone got along pretty well actually, and even there was a vote that did not go. It was a vote that I was on the losing side of, but it was the debate was not contentious. I think we got 4 votes versus whatever. But then there were a couple other issues that, it used to feel like, okay, maybe this is hard and we don't always work together great, but we did. It was nice. I mean, it's one of those things where I think nobody seems to be able to, like in Lowell, there's always this idea that like the council's just for show and the decisions are made before you go in, but I don't think anyone on the council right now is actually able to put together consistently 6 votes without actually having to do it on the floor, which is how it's supposed to be. That's good open government. So
yeah, well, I'm happy with the city council we have, and the last one with Mayor Rourke running it, I was happy with that too. Mayor Rourke, the big reason why I liked him is the way he handled schools. Eric, I just, all around to me, I'd never seen nothing like him. I don't know if he sleeps well, but he's a pretty busy man, I know that. Other than that, I want to get back, last thing I want to say about teachers, and I'm glad you're sitting here. So you have a new job, I'm glad, and you're working in special ed. That's another plus for you, because I know I always say it to you, I think I've said it to you a couple of times, it's the biggest part of our budget on the
Right.
school side. And we're not spending enough. There's children, and the ones I'm talking about, some can't even get off a floor, and they scream and moan all day long. I hate to sound like that, but that's what teachers deal with nowadays. And to me, they don't put enough money into special ed. I'm not saying to raise it for taxpayers, because that's the number one issue, that you cannot say that property taxes, you want to raise my property taxes. And I knew John McDonough would be jumping in a minute. Go ahead, John.
Bobby, for the kiddo who's on the floor all day screaming,
Yeah,
that kiddo has been offered proper education, and the parents have rejected it. That's why the kiddo's still in a regular classroom, because the parents don't understand the help the city offers the kid, and has declined. That's my takeaway.
all right, let me just say something to that. I know when Ed Kennedy was alive and he was mayor, and I was on the school committee with him, he gets all the credit for saying, we got to keep some of these kids in Lowell and not send them out to Methuen and Andover and all these places. You know what I'm talking about. And he said, if we can keep them in Lowell, we're going to save a lot of money, because look at the one in Chelmsford, the Lighthouse School it's called. I think we're allowed 2 of them a year to put into that school. $350,000 a piece.
it might be more than that now, actually.
Yeah, it's craziness.
Well, the opportunity that we have, we could open schools like that in Lowell, but no one's stepped forward to actually do that yet.
Well,
No,
one of the things. Sorry, one of the things that I think would be I would be interested in continuing to talk about, I guess, to figure out why we're not doing it. In the first in the 70s, right after, in the mid to late 70s, kind of early 80s, after IDEA, the federal law that created special education went into effect everywhere. You had these collaborative schools pop up, these public collaborative schools, where so like one of them is the lab collaborative is one of the closer ones that's includes Burlington and Lexington, and I forget if the A is Bedford is in there. I think Acton's in it. And what happened is all all these towns that touch each other said, well, it's very expensive to provide this kind of education. Why don't we pool our resources and we'll hire these speech pathologists and we'll share them. We'll hire this kind of specialized teacher and we'll share them, and we'll have this building. We'll use this building for the kids that really need a fully separate place, but then we'll also push in and have these classrooms. But it'll be funded by all of the contributing school districts, just like we do with the Vogue School. All the contributing school districts will just pay into this collaborative, and then the collaborative will handle the special education piece once you hit a certain level. We haven't really kept forming them. These communities that have collaboratives between a couple towns seem to be pretty happy with them. The town they still spend a good amount of money on special ed, but because they're able to pool the resources, you don't wind up, sometimes what happens, maybe less in Lowell than in some of the smaller surrounding towns, but I've seen it happen in Lowell, is maybe one year it doesn't look like you need whatever specialist position. You had 3 occupational therapists, and this year it looks like, I might only actually need 2, but you don't want to get rid of your 3rd occupational therapist because in 2 years we know we're going to need them again, and if we get rid of them, then it turns into this balancing act. And with the collaboratives where you're able to share them, it makes it easier to retain all of those positions and also not feel like, how come we just spent a year with someone sitting around, because it would be more expensive to retrain.
Want to read that, Sean?
Good morning. Every morning I would drive by the Hunt Halls Bridge. I would see Mr. Hoey there, holding his sign, not looking to jump. Jay.
Yeah, a few times I've done that, usually at about 5 in the morning to 8, because people are heading to Boston, heading to work, and to me those are the people that vote. So when you only have like 6,000 or 7,000 people that come out and vote, it's not hard.
Background picture, I'm using this one. Tewksbury Senior Center yesterday, they had a nice dance and lunch. It was a good time out at Tewksbury Senior Center yesterday. Back over to you guys.
I was just going to say on that, it was just that I know, so I used to work in Methuen. I went from Methuen to Lowell, and now I'm going to another town. But I know that Methuen has this problem and has the budget pressure. I know Dracut has the problem and the budget pressure. I know, there are a number of communities in the Merrimack Valley that have this problem and the budget pressure, and that are not currently part of any sort of collaborative. Lowell is in a better position, actually, because we have a couple of our own substantially separate day schools. So there are a number of students who, if we were Dracut or Methuen or Chelmsford, would be paying, like Bob, like you said earlier, upwards of $300,000 to send to a private specialized school, and those we do that in Lowell, but we also have our own public, substantially separate school that keeps those students in Lowell. I think the last school committee, one of the best things they did was buy that Jeanne d'Arc school and add more seats.
It's another issue I felt. Eric was top guy on that issue, and Mayor Rourke at the time was number 2 on that issue, because they know that's what we need to do. And when you look at Lowell, right, this is the way I look at it. You got Merrimack, Middlesex College, that you can get into that for nothing, I think, right?
It's free.
Yeah, free. You got Lowell, the school you graduated from, correct?
That's right.
And my granddaughter graduated from there as a civil engineer and doing fine in life. And we sit in the middle, the school system. 15,000 students, approximate. You always got to say that word, especially if you're in court, approximately. And the same amount at Lowell. What Marty Meehan has built in this city is incredible. I know everybody don't love him, but that's fine. He's done a lot for the city of Lowell as far as I'm concerned.
And Marty takes care of himself first.
That's okay. His hair looks good. I've caught him out a few times. He looks great. Oh, yeah. Who wouldn't be with the 2 pensions he's got coming? But getting back to what I think he's done for Lowell, and you, Lowell, you must know that by now, that we're going to grow. This city's going to grow. Maybe people aren't going to move in. Maybe they don't want to do that, but they're going to be building a lot of different businesses down in that area near the Spinners Park. Pretty
Right.
sure that's where it's going to happen.
That is where
Hey,
it's
today,
supposed to
front
go.
page, Lowell Sun, most kids I've seen in the swimming pool across the street on the South Common in a long time. So the city's done a good job of hurting the homeless elsewhere. So congratulations to the city of Lowell for.
That's the most I've seen in my lifetime.
Oh no! Yesterday, before our genius manager herded the homeless to the South Common,
Yeah.
that pool will be full on a hot day.
You know Hudson Field and
Hundreds
all?
of kids.
Hudson Field, Rourke, Timmy Rourke. Remember, they named the bridge after him. Not Timmy, he didn't do it, but I've done it with a few of my friends. Would go in the Concord River, catch carp, and put it in the pool. That's what we did. And then was tomato time. All these Portuguese people, they grow the best. Back in my days, that's what I love about this city. It's the mixture. Can we fix a few things? Without a doubt. High school is the biggest focus as far as I'm concerned, because by the time all these non-readers, they can't read in the third grade, we promote them to the fourth, they go up the ladder like me, and I don't know, I manipulate people. I had the gift of gab, got my way all the way to my junior year. And this lady, Mrs. Keeley, I think she's alive, so I love you. She said, Robert, you're not making it here. I was in the bad crowds doing all the bad things. She goes, join the Army, you're going to be better off. I was. Just a teacher that I loved this woman. Her husband was too nice of a guy. Oh, you'd never meet a nicer guy than her husband. Really, if you know the pair that I'm talking about, she does.
Mr. Keeley was a nice guy.
Yeah.
And I
it's
thought
the same
Mrs. Keeley
thing.
would be nice too.
Okay, but there's, even now, right, I look at and I don't stay up with it like I did, but I look at all these, what I used to call a house master, but floor master, whatever. You got a Deidre Haley, almost the same type of person, but saves a lot of people. I know Iowa, she's done wonders for my grandchildren, so I'm in her court, But what keeps a person motivated? That's what I wanted to ask you. I don't know how a teacher can do 30-something or 40 years. I have a friend at Lowell High, you might know the person, I won't say his name, got over 500 sick days. Days. He's got 40 years in, and it looks like he's got 20 more in him.
Bobby, some people love to go to work.
Well, I love this, and that's my point I want to ask him. I got burnt out after 20 years, Sean. I couldn't do 32 years in the state prisons. Couldn't do it. So I got out. I've been retired like 16 years. But what keeps a teacher, other than their love for kids, because that's what they really get in there for, but what keeps them motivated? Teachers today quick to go help out Hoey's classroom because he can't control it.
Usually,
that old team teach, help out the other classroom. I don't know. I don't know if that's still there.
What I have found, and went through a couple job interviews before I picked one, and they usually ask some question about why do you like teaching, right? Like everyone has that, like why this one or why whatever district decides they're going to phrase that question. But my answer has always been, my answer still is, I honestly have no idea, but I know I have it, right? Because it's like I was sad to leave Lowell High. I think I pretty much had to. And there was a chunk of time in there where I said, well, maybe I don't. I've been doing this for a while. Maybe I don't want to teach. This was an accident. This was a pandemic. It was a pandemic job. I didn't think this is what I wanted to do. Maybe I did. Maybe I don't know. See what else there is. And I looked, and nothing looked right. Right? Like, even as you're starting to do, you go, okay, I'm getting pretty far. Oh, this would be a great job. This is a good one. Okay, final round of interviews. Okay, wow, I don't know if I like that. I don't know. You just throw one into school, too. And then I did a couple more, and I don't know. I like it. I like it. I like working with kids. I like seeing, with what I do, I like seeing, you work really hard, and each kid, for me at least, I teach between 6 and 10 kids at a time. Each kid's like their own little puzzle, and they get all this stuff going on, and you do all this work just to get, frankly, incremental progress. But it feels like a really big deal when you get there, because people have been trying to get this kid. I remember I had one kid who was biting. It was like a kindergarten student, and he was biting people like dozens of times a day. He was biting, or he was trying to bite. He didn't talk. He didn't. And he went through preschool. No one could figure it out. It's a specialized preschool. No one could figure it out. And we tried this thing with a communication board, like a paper. I don't know. Maybe someone had tried it before and it didn't work. But when I tried it, and we kind of dialed in on a couple specific objects. It turned out all the kid was trying to say was that he was hungry, and at home he could communicate he was hungry because he'd go over to the fridge and he'd tap on the fridge, and Mom knew, he's tapping on the fridge, he wants to eat, so he's not biting anybody. But at school we don't get a fridge in the classroom. He couldn't just walk over and grab himself a carton of milk and a granola bar. But once we were able to show him how to use the communication board to just say want snack, want milk, want water, he stopped biting almost overnight. It was one of the first behavior graphs that I threw a phase line on. A phase line is where you say, this is where I started the intervention, and you can see, biting. And I said, so this is where we started the intervention, and it just went, no more biting.
Yeah.
I followed up with somebody who still works over at the school that he is at now. It's still no biting. Still no biting. So you
can't
beat that.
4th of July right now. Just change the subject a little bit and go towards some of your issues probably in the city. But last issue I'll talk about is fireworks. We got a big billboard down there at the Prince Macaroni Bridge on Gorman Moore. Big billboard, come up to New Hampshire to buy your fireworks. And I think it was John McDonough I heard it off. Excuse me. That he said, New Hampshire, it's legal to sell them, but illegal to use them.
That is correct.
That to me is quite the thing, because look at they're doing. But I remember being in the Rogers School across the street. Me and this guy, I'll just give you his first name, Eddie. We opened the window in the cafeteria. There was a classroom up on the stage. We lit what they call an M80 or something like that. high quality and a lot of power. We didn't know. We just lit it, and we were going to throw it out the window, but it ended up in the classroom, and we run away from it. But the noise was incredible, and they were determined to find out who did it. And they found out. One of the kids ratted out me and this guy, Eddie. But when I said
What did they do to you?
when I said teachers gave me corporal punishment, I left out something. Every one of those teachers, when I got elected to my first school committee, Sean, I swear, I was about 270 pounds at the time. I went to every one of them that hit me, and I said, hey, do you remember hitting me at the Rogers School? They says, you can't tell people that. I says, no, I want you to know something. I'm here to give you a pay raise. I swear, that's what I said to them. There's about 8 of them. Well, mean genes over here at the Rogers School. But when you don't have really a good home life, or at least one person, like my grandmother took me in, thank God. But a lot of kids are like that. That's just one issue. I'm talking divorce, that's it. Never mind drug issues and alcohol issues and whatever your issue is. Can you imagine that? There's a lot of kids in the system that are from a divorced family. And that's why, to me, teachers, oh God, prison guards and teachers, being a prison guard, it's just you never got caught in your life. You were smart enough not to get caught. But too bad we don't have more teachers, especially men. And I hope that's what you said you're doing that again, right?
Back to teaching.
Super.
I can't stop.
And another major issue that I want to say, yesterday I went down to buy 3 different meals. I can't name the type of meals. It's from the Four Seasons anyways. My kids love that place. So we get 3 meals, but we got in my daughter's car to go down there, and I'd run in and get it. I couldn't believe how hot it was inside her car. And let me tell you, I know John will say something about this too. You got to remember your kid in the back seat of your car. Because if a kid's real small, they don't know how to get out of the seat. They don't know how to roll down a window or open a door.
Don't leave your kid in the car.
No, do not leave.
Probably best trick I ever heard of. It works like freaking fantastic. You got a kid in your back seat, take your left shoe off and put it next to the baby seat. Because you'll get to the destination, you get out of the car, where the hell's my shoe? Oh, it's with the baby.
Yeah.
I mean, Declan, my son, he doesn't. One, I don't want to jinx myself, but we're not going to forget Declan. But Declan will make sure, because if you stop at a red light too long, he thinks we might be where we're going, and he just starts talking about where he told him we were going to go. It's all done, out, it's Nana's house. No, we're not at Nana's house, buddy, we're at a red light. No, Nana's house. Come on, up.
How old is he?
He just turned 2.
I like that name. Sounds like a good Irish name.
My mother went or I guess, my father is complicit in this. So my parents go because, we live on the 3rd floor of a building. So we got to make sure by we, I mean my parents, they really spoil him when he goes out and he can just walk outside whenever he wants into the fenced-in backyard. So they go and they buy him the little toddler Jeep thing. You drive it around.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
So now, as if going to Nana's house wasn't appealing enough. Right? 2 weeks ago, it was already our favorite place to go, but now he's got wheels when he goes. So now I really can't. We were sitting around the other day, and it's 100 degrees out or whatever, and my wife and I are like, I don't know, what do we both teach? We don't do anything all summer.
Your parents are lucky that they live so close. I have so many of my friends, their kids live down in North Carolina, they live in Texas. They're never going to see. They're going to see their grandkids once in a blue moon.
Right. No, he goes up there, but we go up with him. Sometimes he just goes up. He likes going up there. He just goes, go Nana's house. I was like, I don't know if it's time to go. Let's call her. Here you call her. Are you doing anything? She also teaches. She goes, no, come over. So we went over for an hour. He drove his little car around, jumped in the pool. Can't do that on the 3rd floor.
Your district, I'll bring this up. I just came in from the real South Lowell up on Woburn Street. I live up in that area. Come down, they had Warmison Hill blocked off, the police did, up to back Central. So I said, all right, I'll go down Lawrence Street, I'll take North Street to come here to John's place. You go up North Street, if you needed a fire truck up North Street, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you can get a truck up that street. Ooh, bumper to bumper parking on North Street. You know which one I'm talking about?
I do.
These guys, the firefighter, are pretty good. They got
Yeah, I know.
They get 2 guys in the front seat, and they'll just go up the street slowly. But people got to have a place to park. But the city council has forgotten. No, we don't.
Nobody.
Well, I did really like it. I don't know how much it would help North Street in particular, but I loved.
Go ahead with your point.
I like Councillor Scott several weeks ago. I think it was like 12 weeks ago now, but we got the motion response on Tuesday. Had a motion about curb cuts on sidewalks because right now, depending on the area, the city you're in, even if you own the land, you can't have a driveway that's big enough for whatever. And so she had put a motion in asking, so can the law department give us a path forward to fix this so that we can people that already own the space to be able to put their car anyway. Can we just get them off the street? But for whatever reason, instead of the law department giving a path, DPD sent a one-page note back that said, we think this is a really bad idea. But I was really glad to see Councillor Scott say, I don't think I asked you if it was a good idea or not. I think I asked you to give us the path forward. So, yeah, hopefully that comes. I thought it was a great motion, and I hope we get it back soon.
The biggest mistake you guys are making is put up as many condos as you want. We don't care where people park anymore. There's no parking required in the city of Lowell. That's the biggest mistake and there's no mindset amongst your colleagues in the city council to do anything about it. Oh, I know it's terrible, but it's the law. I would tell your lawyer, your loser lawyer, who's caves in on everything, find a way to have parking. We have to have parking.
Right.
And then we're going to put a moratorium on building permits until we find a way for parking. Make that motion and see what happens. And the manager will go, I need the revenue. Look at, buddy, you spend money like a drunken sailor. We want parking. Fix it. Want to read this one, Sean?
Do you Do you think you endorse any state rep candidates for the Middlesex district? I think I learned my lesson as far as official endorsements. I have my seat. I don't know. If you care about who I am going to vote for, I don't know who I'm going to vote for in my race yet. I think I do, but maybe
I would say anybody but Vanna Howard, because she's going to do nothing for us. You know what the State House did yesterday? They passed a law. Yes, they passed a law that lights can't go up into the sky.
I got to look again and see if it was in there. One thing that I do, and I know this is, I might never get invited back, but credit where credit is due. Senator Howard put in a absolutely phenomenal amendment on data centers, which is really nice to see because of the one that we have in South Lowell. And I got to see if it actually passed. I know she submitted it to take a look at it. It included that amendment. It's Amendment 62, if you go back and look. But I mean, it included all of the on a state level.
Well, Sean, you do know it's election season, right?
I do.
That's why she's doing it.
I said the same thing. Someone told me there was somebody else who put something in who was not Senator Howard had put something in, and someone said, "Oh, it was performative." And I said, "If it passes and we get it, I don't really care why they did it."
Why didn't she do it last year?
That's fair.
You know, I'm not afraid to say I'm voting for Joe Espinola. He's an independent. His chances of winning are very slim. Like the U.S. soccer team, they won again. Let them win one more time. I think they're playing Belgium.
But they won. Sorry, hold on. I got to say this because I was watching it last night. They won again, and for absolutely no reason. I'm sorry. I didn't play soccer. Whatever. The guy moved to take the ball away, missed, and accidentally got the guy in the foot. It was very obvious it was an accident, and the referee throws the guy out of a game with a red card. Whatever. And then we still won 2-0.
But the amount of beer they're selling, okay, right now they want America to win, and they're playing Belgium next. So if they get by Belgium, forget it. It will start going crazy everywhere. They called in the National Guard to work in the city of Brockton, because their viewing tables or whatever they have to watch the game. Cape Verde. Yeah. Cape Verde against Argentina. Whew. Man, that's going to be incredible, you know. I'm not a big soccer fan, but I'm starting to like it. I'm
not a big soccer fan either, but I like the World Cup. I've always liked the World Cup. When I was growing up, we used to make fun of soccer all the time, and then I found out that I didn't realize at the time. I mean, the first World Cup, I don't think I realized that one of my best friends, he didn't play soccer, but his older brother did, and his dad had played in college, but he was like, I play football, and so whatever. So I was friends with him. So at his summer place, and they had the World Cup on. I was probably 12.
Well, frankly,
from then on, it was like, oh, this is fun. It's fun.
I never paid attention to soccer until we got this guy, the Monday guy. Mike Smith, he's a soccer coach. So I'm able to ask him, what's this yellow card business? And what's with the time on the screen? And it's supposed to stop after 90 minutes, and then they have this extended time. And briefly, he said the extended time that's the amount of time that the game could not be played because they exchanged players because of injuries, and they keep track of that. Yeah. One of the referees keeps track of that. So that made sense.
Yeah.
I said, now the yellow card. He says that's for one of the judges thinks that your behavior was bad. If you get two of them, you get a red card and they kick you out of the game, and your team cannot replace you. I didn't know about the team couldn't replace you. Now they said they kicked the guy out last night. Did they kick a U.S. guy out?
They kicked a U.S. guy out last night with I think over 20 minutes left in the game. So they played a man down for I think it had to have been 20, 25 plus minutes.
And they still
won. It was only 1-0 when they kicked the U.S. guy out. And so then the U.S. scored without a guy.
Fantastic.
1-2-0.
I was fast asleep. My wife watched the game, and it was good. The part I watched was good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. And I like. In Lowell. It's nice to live in a city like Lowell during the World Cup because it is really fun. You see, Colombia had a game the other day. You see, half the city had their yellow shirts on.
Yep.
I know Portugal had a game the other day. They had a big watch thing down at the club.
Yeah,
it's the Reds Club and the Blues Club.
It's just phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's brought so much dough in. I can't wait till they have a final figure on, because that's all they talk about. They're running out of beer at this bar in Boston. They're running out of beer here and there. Or you get people doing that, whoa,
the Norwegian team. Well, and it got
it's
people.
It's good for America. It's good for us.
Well, never mind the money, what it's good for, which is great, but it also gets people who normally wouldn't be in the same place. Like, you get your bar, they get their bar. You don't go out. This one doesn't do that. But now you got all these people mixing who normally don't talk to you, even within one community. Well, I don't normally talk to people from over there or that one or this one, but now we're all sitting there and watching the game, and everyone's happy about it. And that's
how about the athletes boasting to those at home? There's air conditioning in every room. First time they've ever played soccer, and there's air conditioning in their hotel room.
By the way, how many votes? Do you remember how many votes you got in your district?
I don't.
The total, no?
No, 4 something. I think.
Because I was going to say, there can't be too many votes in your district.
There's not a lot of votes in the district. It's funny, even I like to look at other elections too, and it makes me feel better that it's not just the municipal elections that don't have a high number of votes in my district specifically. You could see it. Oh, hey, there's the 250 people from Canal. It's about 200 something people over at Canal Place, and you can see them very consistently, but that's about it.
I lived right next to Cavaleros most of my life. That's where I was brought up, little yellow house, right next to Ideal Tape, trucks coming in and out of that driveway at all hours of the night, and I loved living there. Right next to Cavaleros was Walter's Market at the time, back in my days. Oh, before school, kielbasi sandwiches, oh my God. Bulky roll with mustard or liverwurst. Oh, what a place. Walter's Market. Laws changed so much, but what I'm seeing is everywhere they can put a house, they're putting up a house. I've been seeing that lately, the past couple of weeks. I've been doing quite a bit of driving around Lowell, and wow, everywhere.
Okay, just to let you know, Mike Minot is going to be over at the Owl Diner today at 12:30. So if you want to meet Mike Minot, head over to the Owl Diner on Appleton Street in lovely Lowell, Massachusetts, if you want to meet Mike. And in the background this morning, that's the Tewksbury Senior Center. Yesterday, a lot of pretty girls out there. They had a disco lunch, so pretty cool. Back to you guys.
I hope Cliff might get him on your show. He's Republican, right?
Yeah.
Mike? Yeah. He seems like he's got only off what I hear, he's got an outside shot, because the thing that's going to hurt her the most is wanting to borrow something around $50 million to $100 million out of the pension funds, and you go against pension funds, watch out in this state.
You see what Wu did yesterday?
No.
She took the American flag down at City Hall and she put the Somali flag up.
Yeah, she's all in, but that's okay.
For the 4th of July.
Listen, you got to remember where you live. Come on.
Disgraceful.
I think there's a Republican primary though, isn't there?
Yeah, but still, in this state.
No. I was thinking, because I honestly, I was trying to remember. I think for governor there's a Republican primary.
Yeah. Well, I know this Joe Espinola, for instance, as an independent. He's going to get a nice vote as an independent. And I'm voting for him. I'm going to tell everybody right now I'm going to vote for him, because what I hear out of him is what I like. But he has a slim chance. It's almost like the Register of Deeds. I won't say her name, okay? I'll be good about that.
I'll also say...
She ran as an independent, couldn't win.
Regardless of who you vote for, and I'm not saying... I'm a registered Democrat, so I'll put my blue underwear on, right? But one thing that I think about Joe that everyone should be able to respect, and I said this to him last night because I was at this event that I never would have expected to see Joe Espinola at. Bob Ferrant was given this talk on immigration history. It was a fairly progressive crowd, and in walks Joe Espinola, and I said, "No way." I said, "This Joe Espinola, does he know where he is right now?" But he came over, he sat down, he listened to the whole talk. He had some, really nice comments. He goes, "I'm gonna buy this guy's book. I want to but he's just such a genuine
he's a good
guy,
guy.
even when you disagree.
Bob
with him.
Ferrant's very educated, well speaker. He doesn't take questions. He loves the soapbox, but he doesn't take questions.
No, but that's what I like about Joe. He'll listen and he'll tell you
what
how
I guess
it
what I
is.
mean, a lot
Yeah.
of people campaigning, they're gonna really focus on going to friendly rooms, and they want to go to big crowds, and that was one, not a huge crowd, and two, not a friendly room. But he went, and he sat and he listened, and I mean that is something I think anyone should be able to respect. I mean, just the same way that I think a lot of people really like. I mean, it's not
Was
quite
he
the same.
recognized?
But
Was he recognized?
he was there a little late.
I'll take that as a no.
No, neither was I. Councilor Duran was there too. They didn't do the whole thing. I never.
Well,
I don't
Councilor
expect it from Bob.
Councilor Duran, she got there's a thing on Facebook of her talking about parking in Lowell. She got 900 views.
Oh boy.
I'll go and take a look at that video later on.
I'll have to
I
look.
like Belinda.
Yeah.
I think she's doing a great job.
She's doing good.
Smart woman.
Well, I don't vote in your district, but any election that comes up, if you need some extra help, I'm available. I think for the first, we've been there about 8 months now. I don't know, January is when you start,
Yeah.
right?
Coming up on, I think we're in the 7th month now, right?
Okay,
Or 8th?
7th
I
month.
can't count either.
Well, I've been around quite a while, other than a couple. I can think of a couple of people, I'll leave the names out, that in the first year have done the job you've done, just by the questions you ask, and so far, so good. To me, you're gonna be hard to beat next time. Because right about now, most of the big stuff to me, you passed the budget, they all went up, I'm not gonna say who, on our property taxes. But in my age group, I talk to a lot of people in their early 70s. That's who I communicate with. I know they vote. They don't want to hear no more about property taxes going up. But to me, they got to go up. Where else are you going to get money? That's how I feel. And I don't feel like I'm getting ripped off in this city. Imagine
yeah,
that.
no, I think it's about
You
being,
are. You
Okay,
are.
I knew he was going
It's-
to.
Bobby, come on, give me.
It's about being. So one of the things, not on property taxes.
Yeah.
But I get it. But it's about making sure that there's oversight and that there's a reason, and somebody actually has to explain why the money's going up. And sometimes there's a reason, and sometimes I think, to my not uncle's point, there isn't. Right? Like, or it's going to go up, but does it have to go up by this much? Or did we have to buy this? Whatever. One of the things last night that I couldn't believe seemed to get a lot of people, or 2 nights ago, that I was a little bit nervous. But kind of work was very supportive, which is great, because I know, it's the parking enterprise fund, and I'm looking at it and I'm going, how come I'm getting and all my neighbors are getting this over a 5% raise on our garage rates? I already pay almost $100 a month. Now I got to go up another 5%, and then I look and I knew it was there, but there's an automatic increase. The council doesn't vote on it. That the parking department is just kind of allowed to do an administrative raise up to the CPI plus 1%, up, never down, every year. There's no question about it. So I had put in a motion saying, you get rid of this. You want to go for a raise just like everybody else? Come ask us for a raise and we'll vote yes or no and explain it. But through that conversation, Councilor Duran had said it first, but through that conversation we found out, so the resident rate was going up, the pass card rate was holding up, but the ordinance that said you got to raise it every year also was supposed to apply to the transient rates, and the transient rates hadn't been raised at all. So how come this one's going up and that one's not? Well, what would that be? And we couldn't get an answer. So I'm hoping we get that answer, very soon. I think it's going to go to a finance subcommittee on the whole thing, but making sure that we're sharing costs equitably, like the $900,000. So the school department, one of the things that I keep bringing up, the school department uses, according to the city reports that the school department uses about $900,000 of parking that the city and the school department don't pay for. We write it off. We say to the state, they use $900,000 in parking, but the enterprise fund, where I pay for the parking, it means the city's not paying for the school department's parking. Only people who use the parking garages are paying for the school department's parking. So downtown businesses, their customers, their residents. So whether you think, I expect to pay a good amount of money for parking, but I don't really think I need to pay for the whole school department's parking budget. That seems like a
Well, the
citywide
logic
expense.
there is, since the city hall employees get free parking,
Yeah.
all city employees get free.
Well, and then I brought the City Hall employees with free parking up as well, because the Parking Enterprise Fund maintains all of this parking. So if the City Hall employees are getting free parking, I've asked, is the general fund paying the Enterprise Fund for all the parking they use? No. So before you raise my rates, can we account for all the free parking that we're paying for city staff for?
Wait a second. Aren't you the city council that says we don't need to have parking?
I'm not that city councilor.
Aren't you the city council that says we don't need to have parking?
I think that was the last city council. This city council hasn't had a chance to vote on it yet.
Do you know?
And you're not going, is there a mindset to do that? Is it on anybody's agenda? Nah.
It will be.
Yeah, it
You
probably will
You
be.
keep chirping and it will be. You've been chirping about parking as long as I've been here.
Well, we haven't had a development come in that doesn't have parking yet, right? Like, there hasn't been another chance to.
Oh, really? Heinz Tavern.
That was the last. I'm saying that was approved.
Meanwhile, I'm
Yeah.
beating you up here, Sean. When are you going to have a chimney put in over at Markley? A chimney that's going to get all that exhaust, put it up 120 feet in the air, along with the noise.
I am the host today, and Sean, I knew he was going to get you to. You're going to crank him up, John, talking about that place.
I like talking about that place.
Oh, go ahead then.
It's exciting.
Go ahead.
I mean, I think they took their video down, so that was sad. I loved their little video that they made on the safari of South. Like, it was just like this empty environment where they were like, we live in South Lowell. There was nothing else there. And it's like, we're Markley. Isn't that awesome? Look, there's nobody here. Because as far as they're concerned, nobody lives in that neighborhood. And I think that's been pretty clear in their actions over the last 10 years, is that as far as they're concerned, there are no people there, which is asinine.
Well, you know how you can tell somebody lives in that neighborhood? At nighttime, when they smile, their teeth light up.
Well, they'll end up buying all the property around it. That's what they'll do.
Well, but then they also come in and they say, oh, well, we tried to buy this house, and someone said no. But then you go ask the person who allegedly said no. You say, hey, did they try and buy your house? They go, no, I would have sold it to them.
Yeah.
It's like,
I know you
it's
could.
insane.
I know you could say a ton of things against that place. Pro and con.
Yeah.
Any pros?
Yeah, no, I think there are.
Hey,
I think
Bobby, turn that mic on its side. Get another mic, will you?
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Leave it on. Just turn it on its side.
yes, actually, and I think that if they would be willing to actually work with the city and the residents of the neighborhood, I'm sure that we could come to some sort of a compromise here. But for 10 years plus 6 months of the moratorium, this guy's position seems to be, I'm just going to sit around with a choice finger in the air and say, you can't touch me because I gave a lot of money to the governor, and I gave a lot of money to the congresswoman, and I gave a lot of money here, and no one can tell me what to do. And I don't think that's how you make friends. I don't think that's how you get to a compromise. So positives on Markley, 100 employees right now, if that's real, that's what they report, great. All that contract work, phenomenal. I don't care. It's contract. Yeah, it's contract work. It's the building trades. That's what they do. They build. You can't keep building trades guys around after the thing is built, right? But that's phenomenal work. Jobs are jobs. It's a great. Those are good jobs. For electricians, for pipe fitters, for they're saying laborers. Hopefully they got laborers in now, but I have not confirmed that yet. But I did see. I think Jeff Thomas is watching. Maybe you can let us know if they actually did get the laborers. And they told us they got laborers, but I hadn't seen it. Those are great, right? The jobs are great. The projected tax revenue could be great. I'd like to see how we're going to be able to tax these computers that they have on the inside is sensitive. So I went on a tour there. Since I went on that tour and I saw, and I had an idea, but then I started Googling all the things that I had seen in there, and some of those computers are they're they're multi-million-dollar machines, and that should be subject to a business personal property tax that's currently got a TIF, right? So they're currently not paying that tax, but when that TIF comes due, and I asked one of the VPs on this tour, I said, what's the value inside this place versus your real estate? And he more or less, he said the value of the real estate could be a rounding error if you actually accurately accounted for the value of these machines. So, that is potentially a lot of money to the city, but that doesn't mean we can just send the residents up the river. And it's unfortunate that seems to be the attitude that Markley has. Is that, we're just not going to work with you.
And the people that I questioned, and I consider them all very intelligent people, they don't live in Lowell no more. They believe in these places. They think it's the future and we got to have one. But I don't think they see the surrounding neighborhood and what they're going to live through,
No, and I think, Bob, people keep saying it's a neighborhood issue, and it is a neighborhood issue. And in this case, it is a neighborhood issue, but it's also, this is a state issue, this is a national issue, these things they're popping up everywhere, they're big. And depending on what community they go into, I think we're starting to learn, what it is that they need to do, where they go, what communities and what kinds of places are better suited to these things. This is not 2015 anymore, 2016 anymore, when Mark Lee came to town and they were, and then the other thing they do is they talk a lot about, this is the healthcare and this is the this and this is the that. They've got like petabytes. I forget the exact number that he said, but it's like this incomprehensibly large number of data that they can store. And when you look at some of the clients you do know about,
I get 3 checks here for you.
Why would the law be written that it has to go up 25 cents when the machine never had a coin slot? It's a phenomenal question. I think we need to rewrite the whole parking code. Could Lowell have a nuclear plant? We have a very small one at UMass Lowell, but I don't know that we have the kind of space for a real one.
And this is from Tom Boble.
Hey, great show this morning. 2 of my favorite co-hosts. Hi, Tom.
Have a good time, Tom. We only got a few minutes before quick break so we can warm up our coffee, and thanks, John, the coffee's always good. The reason why I really love it is yesterday I was sitting in Chelmsford Drum Hill waiting for a bank to open, TD Bank. So I went across from TD Bank to that Starbucks. I bought a coffee, never had one of their coffees in my life. I took 1 sip, I'll never have another. I'm sorry, I just don't like their coffee. I don't like Dunkin's either. I like this because it's free, obviously. And the other one that I had yesterday, small black coffee, $7. With a
$7?
Small black. Small black.
These are only $1.
No, blueberry muffin. Always got to get the muffin. I didn't want to say that.
Where'd you get the muffin from?
Same place, but I didn't want to bring that up
Starbucks?
because my wife is listening and she'll say you and the muffin.
You gave it to a homeless man.
Yeah, sure. But I'll say this, and I'll only say it because of where we live, and it's unbelievable. I'm watching the cars come out of this place, right? The Starbucks, one after another, and quick. Not like 5 minutes in the window. I mean quick. I think I seen one Caucasian, let me put it that way. Southeast Asians, do they keep those businesses going up there? In Drum Hill, let me tell you. And I think Drum Hill is part of Lowell, isn't it? A certain section of it, maybe.
It's a little bit of both. Yeah, I think Drum Hill itself, is in Chelmsford, but then you got all those businesses on the street, kind of going back towards Lowell that are then in Lowell. That's a good area. Yeah.
You got about 5 minutes, maybe 4 minutes, to tell me how you could help us, the people, property taxes. What can we do?
Lowell comes on in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Lowell comes on at 5.
Okay, but I just asked him now so I could ask him again later. What can a city council do to try to stop or slow down property taxes? Because that's all I'm hearing off my friends. And don't forget, we're all old. John, you got something to say?
After Sean finishes, I have the appropriate answer.
One thing that I've been looking at is just it's a complicated thing, and I'm trying not to wrap my brain around it. I'm trying to figure out how do I present this that we might get more people to understand it, and we can find out if it's a good idea or not. Is a combination of something called a residential tax exemption, which a city closer kind of in demographic. It's popular on the Cape to get the Airbnbs, but Everett also has one, and it seems to work really well in Everett, and that's not a vacation hometown. And what that does is say if you own a you're the owner occupant of a house, Bob. You got your house. We're going to pretend your house is, I don't know, I'm going to say it's a $400,000 house, and the city comes up with the number. It applies to everyone, and we say, okay, the first $200,000 of an assessed value is exempt. The rate is going to go up a little bit. You're going to pay a higher rate on $200,000 instead of $400,000. If it's not an owner-occupied house, if it's a massive real estate development, they're going to be paying a higher rate on the whole thing. And then the other thing I would think about is the state a couple of years ago had rolled out a new local option called a good landlord tax abatement. It's up to six units of housing, and if you're renting below market rate, you can also qualify for a local property tax, not an exemption, but a reduced tax amount, an abatement for doing what we would say is the right thing and providing affordable housing without any vouchers and not to an immediate family member. And I think if you did those two things, the rate might look like it goes up, but the amount of money that most Lowellians are paying in taxes, I think, would go down. You'd see more taxes shifted to people living in castles. I'm thinking about that one on what's it, Bellevue or whatever, up near Manchester, the giant thing, and these huge corporate.
I feel the jealousy factor coming out, Sean.
No. I just think that
If you won Powerball, wouldn't you have a house like that?
I don't think so.
Oh, I would.
It's a lot to clean.
That's what you have help for.
I guess if you had enough money to live in the house, you have enough money for the help. Okay. No, I think it's about all these developments that we complain about. They don't have any parking and they bring all these. Okay, but
Wait a second, Sean.
Win is making money hand over fist off us. I think they should be paying more taxes than me. I do.
All these big buildings that don't pay taxes. Look at all these big mansions.
It's public housing
that don't pay taxes.
Yeah.
Why don't they pay taxes?
I think that public housing is not something that, it's public housing.
Look at those big buildings, not paying a red
If
cent
the right
in
people are
taxes.
in those, that's the thing. He's looking at, it's public housing, no doubt about it, but it's actually a spot where politicians over the years would put people in there that don't deserve to be in there.
Well, and I guess
we're loaded with that.
When I say big developments, what I'm talking about is, Win is a specific company that owns, and someone's going to come at me and say, actually, it's 783, but it's like 800 something doors in the city of Lowell that these guys own. That's a lot of doors. That's a lot of units of housing for one company to own. And then they turn around and they say, well, that's the market rate. And it's like, well, you are the market. Depending on the neighborhood, like in my neighborhood, you are the market rate. My neighbor rents out his place, right? You know how he sets his rent? And I only got a minute. He pulls up apartments.com. He finds a Win listing. He takes $75 off and he puts his apartment up. Because every other apartment in downtown is a Win apartment, so he'll just be $75 cheaper than them.
We'll be back in about 60 seconds. They're going to get more coffee.
That's awesome. think one of your connections might have been down. Good morning. Welcome to the City Life Show. I'm Bob Hoey, the host today. Sean McDonough, City Councilor.
Hello.
Actually, one of my top 3 city councilors in the city of Lowell. He's doing a tremendous job, in my opinion. John McDonough's behind the camera, and I appreciate John because he comes every morning. 5 days a week, he comes in here and.
I just come downstairs.
No, it doesn't matter.
It's a lot.
It doesn't matter.
It's a lot.
To me, it's like a blog, okay? And you bring information to people, tell them how hot it is. When I walked in this morning at 6 o'clock, I thought the outside temperature was the best I ever felt. It was warm, but not bad. It wasn't heavy and a lot of humidity. What's coming today and this afternoon and tomorrow doesn't sound good to me, so please remember your child if you have him in the back seat.
And your dog, your kid, your
Dog, anything. It
anything.
only takes a few minutes. I can't believe how hot the inside of a car was until yesterday. And I worked up on roofs for 40 years, so I know what heat is. We're going to face some serious stuff in the next 2 days.
Yeah, you know, I mean, and I have the benefit of not having my car ever in the sun because I have to park in the city garages, but it's very rare that it is hot enough that my car gets hot inside the garage, right? Those garages stay pretty cool with all the concrete. It was very hot inside the garage. Yes, it's going to be worse today.
I know who would talk about this if I asked them, but splash pads and stuff, is that
Yeah.
that's going on
They,
across the
there was,
city?
I think we had an announcement. John had the thing up earlier. They opened early. Yeah, splash pads, pools. I don't know what time they open today, but they are. They
Are you
open early.
taking Declan down to go on the beach at Plum Island, go in the water?
I
Salisbury? I'm
Well,
just-
good news on that. Good news on that. Have Road got it fixed.
Yeah, but I
They
don't know.
bypassed the sewer, so by the time the weekend comes, the river should be clear, and the ocean water should be clear of all
It was
that
just,
sewage.
you know what? It was nice to see that there's another community pooping in the Merrimack because I think Lowell got Lowell's gotten a lot of crap for this, and it's, you know, it's not just us. Haverhill did it
Yeah.
worse.
You know,
Haverhill did it worse. We did it longer, but Haverhill did it worse.
Laurie Trahan, actually, I know she was the one, I think, that wrote the bill, but up in Manchester, New Hampshire, which is one of the biggest cities up in New Hampshire, almost like $300 million grant or whatever you want to call it, to build a place up there to clean the water.
Yeah.
That's coming down at us, so hopefully that gets done quick.
Well, and then I know New Hampshire, I think, has put a pretty good amount of money into that PFAS testing and mitigation stuff too. And I know that's a sore spot in Lowell and also in our part of the Merrimack, but it's expensive. Which is not from poop. That's like a firefighting foam. Well, it's not just firefighting foam, but that's, I think, if I'm remembering right, it was a firefighting thing on the Nashua River that dumped a lot of it.
Hey, do you guys know Mike Dillon was here, Lowell firefighter, and I asked him about his fire gear, and I said, and it all started over a TV commercial. There's a guy who says, "I have the fireman glove," and
Yeah.
he grabs this grill. It's like right off the grill. He just grabs it with his hand with the firefighter's mitt. So I said, next time I talk to Mike, I'm going to ask him about firefighter gear. How can you feel the heat in the fire? So Mike said, I said, Mike, how hot does it have to get before you leave a room? He says 600. 600 degrees.
Yeah.
That firefighter gear protects the firefighters, and they have, he says he's got this, my takeaway might be wrong, but my memory is he goes in a fire, he leaves the room when it's 600 degrees. He's got a little meter that is looking infrared for people, and it tells you how hot the room is.
Wow.
But the gear they're wearing allows them to work in superheat. Amazing technology.
You know, we questioned you quite a bit on the first hour, and now on City Life, I'm trying to think of what subject should I bring up, but I
Well, I
know.
want to bring up saving money with the city.
Yeah, well, we were talking about that too earlier, and if you want to get into that, just let me ask him this quick question. What Eric has told me in the past, one of the biggest issues coming up for us is water, like storage and the capacity and all those things. That we're talking millions. EPA's forcing us to do certain
Yeah, we have
things.
I know we have the CSO. The CSO thing is ongoing, and that's expensive. And then if the mayor is telling you there's a water problem, I think I'm going to defer 100% to the mayor's judgment on water issues, given his professional background. I'm gonna trust that he knows 100% what he's talking about
Well,
on
I'm
the
calling
water
him this
issue.
morning and asking him if he believes that the water's safe already. I don't believe it. Too quick. It's almost like they don't want to lose out on the money that they're going to lose out on.
They're going to lose out on a lot of money. I think, quite honestly, they're going to lose out on some money regardless.
Who's the they?
These communities on the coast where Haverhill has put all of their poop water. You get the 4th of July weekend coming up. People want to go up to the beach. If you hadn't already booked your vacation and you now had a choice, and you're not going to go stay overnight, but you're going to go to the beach on one day this weekend and go spend money. Exactly. That's what I was going to ask. Even if you were going to go somewhere that was impacted, even if they're saying it's safe, are you going to go, or are you going to drive the extra 25 minutes and go somewhere else?
I know my daughter has worked in fishing boats for about 10 years. This is when she was younger. Eastman's Fishing. And she knows the water and the tides, and she's saying, why are they thinking it only goes down this way and not going up toward Hampton and those beaches?
And the other thing affecting that area, which may be less on the tourism and less on the poop water, is I was right a couple weeks ago. I said I think MEVA's going to go on strike. I don't know if anyone remembers me sitting here, and I said I think MEVA's going to go on strike, but MEVA went on strike, so there are no buses in Lawrence or Haverhill or Methuen today.
Have you heard anything about the Merrimack River up this way? Some people use this beach that we have on the boulevard, right?
They do.
Yeah.
It says no swimming, so I'm not going to tell you to do it, but people definitely go in.
Well, the problem with that is the undereducated people, and they should just say, no swimming, river current is too strong.
Right.
Add that to the sign, so people go, well, why can't I go swimming?
Right.
And if you add to the sign, river current is too strong, that blends into their brain with the decision to dip their toes into the river.
Well, and if I remember right, when he was still alive, I thought that Ed Kennedy had worked on this in the Senate. I thought it was Ed for the splash pad that's going to go in over there, which is a safer way to cool off than swimming in the super strong current Merrimack. I thought, if I'm wrong and it was somebody else, but I swear I remember that being a Senator Kennedy thing.
The river that I played on my whole life took a lot of lives. Concord River has, when it's raging, it's good white water rafting. That's where Ed Kennedy, he was on a commercial one time they had on TV, him coming down the rapids.
A really good friend of mine shot that commercial. He used to
He
work
did.
for... Yeah,
he
did
hit himself in the face with his oar, bloodied his nose and everything. God rest Ed Kennedy's soul.
Yeah.
But I dumped all over him. He was the mayor at the time, so as soon as I see him, I joked about it, and it wasn't a funny thing he said, but...
A really good friend of mine was working for LTC at the time, and it had been helping out on the commercial, and he was in the boat, I guess, too, and at one point he got dumped into the water, and it was a whole thing. But,
Who's your buddy over LTC?
Dan, if you remember Dan.
Oh, Dan Toomey?
Dan Bazarian.
Okay. Good guy.
Morning,
City Life.
Earlier on the Dawn Patrol,
Wonderful. How about you?
they asked us our opinion on state rep races and stuff, and he always has something to say about Vanna Howard, but I got to bring you down to meet my sister down next to Hafner's gas station, Project Compass. Her and the people that work there, I want you to meet them.
I saw
It's
the
your
whole thing,
neighborhood,
but
right?
we'll talk about it. That's a good idea. We'll
Is
talk
it
about
your
it.
district?
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Who's calling?
Caller from the audience is suggesting that we talk about the youngster who got pulled out of the Markley meeting the other night. And it's the full videos on my Facebook page. And I just think that at one point, the meeting to me was going pretty good. You were there in person, Sean, but watching the meeting was going pretty good. And you had to have a microphone to speak. And this youngster decided that they were going to speak.
Over.
They were going to speak out of turn, without a microphone, and it started to get a little excited. And as soon as it gets excited at any kind of a meeting like that, you got to bring peace and calm to the meeting. That's
And
my personal take.
I've talked about this, and I disagree with what happened, and I don't think anyone that has paid any attention to what I have had to say.
Well, that's
is
we're asking you.
surprised,
Tell us your version.
So I don't.
If you want to.
I'm not going to Monday morning. I don't. Well, maybe I will Monday morning quarterback. I don't want a Monday morning quarterback. I disagree. I don't think that what happened needed to happen. I think that I was there. I think you can watch the video. I think this is, and I said this before we went on the air, I think this is one of those incidents where you can have reasonable people watch the same exact thing happen and come to a different conclusion. And I don't think that makes John. I don't think that makes you a bad person. I would hope you don't think it makes me a bad person or an idiot. I think that there's speaking out of turn and cutting people off, and there's being excitable and yelling when you weren't, and speaking when you weren't supposed to.
Who was the moderator?
The moderator was the Department of Planning and Development Assistant City Manager Giovanni Baez-Rose, and then DPD Deputy Director is Camilo Espita. And being there, I did not see either of them, tell the girl to stop talking, and I guess, if we're talking about, order and all this stuff, I would expect the moderator of these meetings is the person who does that. And if they weren't telling her to stop, then, if your first interaction is the cop, and we can all say, well, what she was doing was, whether it was right or wrong or whatever, my biggest problem here is that the direction should have come from the front of the room. And that's whatever. That's where my disagreement is.
Over the years, they never drew a lot of people. They had a lot of people there.
Well, and I don't think anyone saw it coming. And I agree, and I know some people say, well, the cops shouldn't have even been there. I think that's ridiculous. I think you needed the police to be there. The police should have been there from the beginning. I think you got I don't know, close to 300 people or whatever in a room. About 15% of them got their Markley T-shirts on. The rest of them all hate Markley more than they hate anything else in the world. Yeah. That's a contentious crowd. You need that.
Yeah, I wasn't there, but what children and what young people are watching, this is what is the future. You're going to get more of that.
Well, and I think,
especially when it's an issue like Markley.
And I also think that when the police officer went to remove the person, I don't think anyone knew when the going to take the person out started. She hadn't said that she was 14. She hadn't. Okay, but
there's no audio here. There's no audio. If you go on my Facebook page, there is audio you can listen to. But if you squeeze down to like 53 minutes in, was the meeting over at that point?
The meeting was over. And then I'm sure someone's going to say it wasn't over, they were wrapping up. But she said, all right, we're wrapping up the meeting, and it's over. It was over.
Okay,
I had started walking,
So this is around 53 minutes past. So at the 54th minute, see, everybody, you had to have a microphone to speak, so they were still going. And the youngster is way up the top row, I believe.
Yeah.
So she'll come into the frame in a second. And again, there's no audio here because people are swearing. They're using the
Did you see Joe Espinola there? Was he there?
I did.
He was there?
Yeah, I was talking to him for a little while.
Here it is now where the
the
youngster starts voicing her opinion.
Right, but you saw right before that, right, that she stood up. Nobody was doing anything until the cop. We can all say the crowd was being whatever. I just watched it. You just watched it. The crowd was sitting there listening to the girl yell.
No, they weren't. They were getting up, Sean. Let's just
watch it again.
We'll back
Bob?
it up.
I didn't see it, so I can't speak about it at all.
Because I just watched Camilo put the mic down and let the girl start talking.
And once this youngster gets up, other people started to get up, walking towards her, and I think the cop was there out of prevention. Anybody touching her?
Here, watch. Let's watch.
Watch the people. She starts.
She starts.
Not yet.
He's not saying anything. He puts his own microphone down. He's not stopping it.
Now she's up the top.
I don't see anyone up. There's the cop going. No one's up. No one's up. No one's up.
The cop's not going yet.
The cop's already there. Now the cop grabs her. They're up.
Oh, the cop's already up there?
Yeah, I don't see the big deal, but again, I wasn't there.
I think the cop's right there.
If you go back just like 2 seconds.
I can try to. It's kind of hard.
So the police officer is walking up the stairs. No one is standing. Police officer is walking up the stairs. No one's standing. Police officer grabs the arm lightly, whatever. Everyone stands up and freaks out. That's all. That's all I've been saying is that I think that escalated the situation more than it didn't. It's okay. It's easy to look back and say that. In the moment, I'm not going to fault. I don't fault. You know what? You did what you think you had to do. Okay. I think upon review, I would hope that going forward, I don't know that we need to do that. But it is what it is. I feel one way, other people feel another way. That's
Bobby, you
the
watched
beauty
the
of our
whole
country.
thing. What do you think?
I didn't pay attention to this at all. At all.
And now they're all
And-
nuts. I mean, this is...
To me, I don't even know why they'd have this meeting anyways. What's the purpose of this Markley meeting?
I think
Haven't
the
we
the city's trying to sell Markley to the public. That's what the
Is
city's
that what
trying to
that
do.
was?
They want the
Because-
revenue.
About anything to do with Markley, you have to have a cop there. You would have to.
It escalated.
you just
what
have
I've been
to have
saying
it.
is that it escalated when the
You
police
think it's
went in,
fun to
and
be
it
that
did.
cop? It's
No,
not
I
fun.
don't. I don't
No.
think it's fun to be that.
No, I know. I'm
I
just
think
saying.
the cop was put in a terrible position by whoever,
Yeah.
whatever.
If you want to hear the whole audio, go to my Facebook page and you can click on this and watch the whole thing if you like.
But I mean, we just watched it. Nobody was standing up until the cop went to take the girl. I think the moderator, who was DPD with Camillo and Giovanni,
Well,
didn't say anything. We're letting the girl talk.
no,
Somebody, whatever.
Sean, all fairness, the cop was standing on the other side of the room. This youngster started to rabble-rouse, which got the cop's attention. He went up there to try to calm her down. Oh, you saying no? Well, you think?
I'm saying you can. I mean, you can listen. You can listen. No, I'm
You
saying.
think the cop was up there the whole meeting?
No, the cop walked up from the doorway up
She
the
started-
staircase.
8 to 10 steps I counted.
The
That-
youngster was started rabble-rousing early, and he went up there to try
I think
to
you
calm
can
her
look
down.
at. You can look at. I'm not going to put words in other people's mouths. You
watch
can look
the-
at. You
watch
can look
the
at
audio.
statements. You can look at statements from other people that were there who disagree with me on whether the police officer should have done it or not. And there is a different story as to why the police officer went up there than the police officer deciding on his own that there was rabble rousing. And that's really all I'm going to continue to say. And if somebody else wants to talk about it, you can look at public statements that have come out from others that were there. This was not the police officer on his own deciding I'm going to walk up there. So it's what it is.
I didn't know Rita Mercy was there too.
Yeah,
See Rita with a shot right here.
I seen the mayor, that's all I seen. He's pretty strong cat if he had to do anything physical. Be careful. Dynamite comes in smaller packages, if you know what I mean. But what I see, what John just showed us, to me, it's a waste of my time.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
I think that some people feel that way, and I think that there are also some people. I mean, I found it was not the most productive. If you were looking to come up with a solution, I'm not. Okay, Jesus.
It's all good, buddy. It's all good.
Okay, I know how the audience feels about the video. I'm just telling you, I disagree.
This is what he lives for.
I know.
On the air, I just want to convey that.
Who is it?
So,
Everybody's calling me now.
I know. Well, everyone. That's why I
That's
didn't
okay.
want to talk about the
No.
thing. I know I disagree. Whatever.
So no, he says that she was 14, went right to the cop, had to touch her, and I don't know.
might be her uncle
too
or
many
family
people-
member that's trying to sue.
Sorry, I can't
don't
talk to
think
you.
that's
Too
gonna
many
happen.
people call me now.
Phone lines are jammed. It's not a problem we normally have on City
Well, I only
Life, but
got
it's
one
a fun
cell
one,
phone. I
though.
only got
Yeah.
one cell phone. When 3 people are calling me. It's kind of like I don't know what button to push. So
No, I'll say a few
But you have
things.
to ask yourself, well, what if a city council meeting?
Which is not what that was. Because there are some
was-
people that seem to think it was
It
a
was
city
a
council
public
meeting, but it
meeting.
wasn't.
You had
Yeah.
a public meeting,
Yep,
public announcement,
yep,
and you had a official city employee moderating it.
yep.
So you had a public meeting. Somebody starts to rabble rouse during that meeting. What should be done?
So what has happened, every city council meeting that I've seen or been at that this has happened, is the person running the meeting is going to first say, sit, stop talking, call you to order in some way, right? Even at a city council meeting, even with someone losing their mind in the chamber, it's stop, sit, come to order, it's not your time to talk, your time is up, whatever. And if they don't listen, then it's typically they say, if you don't stop, we're going to have you removed. And I've watched it happen. If you don't stop, I'm going to have you removed. And you get the warning that that's going to happen. And then if they continue to keep going, then the police officer removes you. What happened here isn't that. That's all I'm saying, is that what happened here isn't that. I was in the room, you can listen to the audio, nobody told that girl, whether you think she should have done it or not, nobody told that girl to stop talking until the police officer arrived. And it should not have been a police officer first. It should have been the moderator. And it should not have led with the arm. It should have led with the moderator saying you need to stop. If you don't stop, you're going to be removed. But the moderator didn't do that.
Just thinking what a cop's thinking about. I was a cop behind walls, but the same thing is you want that girl protected. Number one, the protection of life. That's number one. Him grabbing her by the arm or holding her arm is to escort her out of that area so she doesn't get hurt.
But nobody
That's
was
the way the
standing up.
cop. But that's the way a cop is trained to think. Get the problem away from this area right now. And
Bring peacefulness. Because was she getting heckled?
No.
could the city?
I couldn't. Whatever. We're all going to disagree on this. I think it was wrong. I've made it known that it was wrong. I've told people. I got into a argument in the parking lot about it being wrong. I've gotten into arguments on the phone about it being wrong. I think reasonable. I've gotten into arguments with people that I respect and I normally get along with about this, and I think that's okay. I think that I'll read your text in a second. I think that part of my whole shtick here, and part of I thought what is what I see as the me about me is, whether I agree with you or disagree with you, I don't really care who you are. If I agree with you or I disagree with you, I'm going to do it based on what just happened.
Well, Sean, remember this, the only people who can get in trouble are the people who do stuff.
Right.
If you want to stay out of trouble,
do nothing.
Never get in trouble, stay in bed.
Right.
Yeah, that's no life.
It's not life.
No,
and quite honestly, when I was...
I'll read this one.
Okay, sorry.
Could the city make laws about Markley being a public utility, or is that for the state and federal to make laws about?
That is closer to state and federal.
Next, Bob.
What's this? Senator Kennedy did great funding for the splash pad. Thanks for remembering, Councilor.
I see 2 police.
I see 2 police.
There were 2 cops there.
Yeah. Well, the whole city council, actually, you can give them credit, but I think a lot of credit goes out to Corey Robinson. He lives in that district that has quite a few people, the most dense population in Lowell. And I'm pretty sure I'm right. It starts at about Liberty and goes down to I want to say Boston Road, but the Laurie Lee School there on the corner of Chelmsford and I'm forgetting the name of that street.
Parker.
That's the most dense population in our city. But Corey has a lot of really low-income people that lives in his district. And I think there's a kid that they're going to try to...
You talking Sakari?
No, I'm talking about Corey Robinson right now.
Senable.
Not alone. I forget the other councilors that was backing him, but to open the schools, do more with the kids, and that's what Lowell needs anyways. We charge people to use our schools. We make about something around $300,000 a year. Here's another one. Strict control is necessary during emotional public meetings to prevent chaos and ensure safety. While removing a 14-year-old looks heavy-handed, clear boundaries are required to keep these things orderly and peaceful. I am curious, where were her parents?
So two things to say. Yes, And when I'm managing a classroom, when most people are managing a meeting, there are clear rules, expectations, and boundaries, and those go both ways. And one of those clear rules, expectations, and boundaries is that the moderator of a forum, if there is an issue with an audience member, that the expectation is that the moderator of the forum has discretion on what is and is not. It's their meeting. It's their meeting. And in watching the video and being in the room, it is quite clear that the moderator of the forum did not tell that girl to stop talking. And so if in retrospect we want to look and say, well, she was yelling and she was this, and all of that can be true. Before a police officer, the expectation at every meeting I've ever gone to, including meetings where I've stood up and probably been worse than that girl when I was a couple of years older than her. At every meeting I have ever gone to.
I can't believe that.
But at every meeting I have ever gone to, the expectation, the rule, the decorum, the whatever on the event organizers and the moderator is that if there's a problem with an audience member, it starts with the person running the meeting. And in this case, the person running the meeting was the DPD staff, Assistant City Manager Yvonne Valles-Rose, and the Deputy Camilo Espesita, and I did not, on the video or in person, see either of them ask for that girl to be removed.
Yeah, so someone didn't do their job.
After this comment,
And that's you know.
Yeah, I hear
I got
you.
a lot of announcements I want to do after this, so read this one, but I don't care which one it is.
I'm going to do it because they agree with
Go
me.
ahead.
I agree with Councilor McDonough that a warning should have been given prior to being removed. I would shut up if there had just been a warning. I really would, because as someone who, whatever. Yeah, if you know it's coming and you keep going, you signed up for it. If you're just up there and you think, okay, I'm pushing an envelope, but I'm not pushing the envelope till the cops are getting involved, there's a difference there. And Bob, I'm sure you know this too, whether maybe it wasn't for the same reason, but there's a difference. If you're going to push an envelope, and I'm sure that girl knew she was pushing an envelope, but there is a difference when it's you stop, you need to stop, or this is legal trouble, versus nothing. And
I think a 14-year-old, though, looking at it, and I wasn't there, I don't know that much about it, but it's what they see in the country.
Right.
Well,
It's what they see.
It's clear to me that kiddos are pretty intelligent. Kiddo goes to school, and the kiddo knows when they're speaking out of term.
And I still, even if someone speaks out of turn in a classroom, because I'm sure someone's going to say, well, would you let someone speak out of turn in a classroom? I'm not saying you let them speak out of turn. I'm saying before I call security or an SRO, you got to tell the kid to stop first.
We're going to come back to this. There's no lunch at the senior center until Sunday. Senior center is closed until Sunday, so chicken marsala is going to be happening there on Sunday. Okay, the Chelmsford Parade. That is going to be on the 4th, starting Friday, the Chelmsford celebration starts. All kinds of good things happening out in Chelmsford. Starts at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Chelmsford Arts Society, and that's actually the town center. And the parade starts at 10 o'clock. It starts off right near the police station and marches right down to town center. So a good day to be had by all. And Friday, they're having a lot of stuff in Chelmsford Center. And Saturday, July 4th, that's when the big parade is. And I believe you can watch it on YouTube for people who don't live in Chelmsford. Out in Tewksbury, there's tons of stuff happening in Tewksbury on Friday, July 3rd, 6 to 9 p.m. They have live bands, food vendors. That means you got to pay for the food, the vendors. And then we have fireworks in Tewksbury at 9:30 Friday night. So if you want to really love fireworks, head out to Tewksbury Center, and you should be able to see the fireworks out there.
Call Mark Kratman if you want to know anything, right?
Mark Kratman's the guy.
Yep.
Actually, they're having a contest for the best decorated building for the 4th of July out in the Wilmington Tewksbury Chamber of Commerce is having that. So, good idea.
You dressing your funeral home up?
It'll be dressed up a little bit, not to the degree we would normally do it, but
Yeah.
be dressed up a little bit. There was more about Tewksbury, too. I don't know what happened. It's Tewksbury's second page there. Where is that guy? Here it is. Okay. And
Please stop with the AI posters.
hey, these are pretty cool. But the only thing is the text is too small. And so this is scheduled events. This is on Friday. It's already it's going to start at 8:30. It's continental breakfast. To go out there and have a nice breakfast, and they're going to have a track and field games. And at 10 o'clock, the little kid stuff, from decorating your doll carriage. Actually, I'll blow this up a little bit. Cute stuff. Decorated doll carriage contest for 3 to 6 years old at 10 o'clock. The bicycle decoration contest for 4 to 8. Little Mr. and Mrs. Tewksbury contest, they're 2 to 4 years old. Basketball free throw contest, all ages. Baloney tossing, face painted, but there's a cool one coming up.
Yeah.
And I think the food's free from 12 to 1. The hot dogs, that goes fast though. The free food goes fast. But they're going to have, at 11 o'clock, a blueberry pie eating contest. That'll be a messing thing to watch. And a watermelon. That's at 11 o'clock today out at Tewksbury. And, I'll get the Mike Minot thing just to, here we go. Mike Minot, I think, is he running for governor?
Yeah.
He's going to be at the Owl Diner in lovely Lowell, Massachusetts today. The Owl Diner on Appleton Street at 12:30. So if you want to meet Mike Minot, get a picture with him, shake his hand, head over to the Owl Diner today for 12:30, and you can shake his hand. Back to you guys.
I just before we keep going on the mark, I just want to make sure I get it. I understand it was a 1 hour forum was an insufficient amount of time. There was a group of Markley employees that were sitting there, and I know some people are very upset. And you know what? I agree. People don't need to be booed and heckled and whatever. But I also think that when you're when you're a company and you deck your people out in their uniform polo shirts and you send them with one of your executives to go sit at a meeting, I think that we need to acknowledge that that's different than people who live in the city or who care about an issue in the city showing up on their own to go to a thing without their uniforms on and without their boss sitting in front of them to watch how they do. And we can all say, oh, well, we don't know. Okay, except that I know who was sitting there, and we all know who was sitting there. And, there was a woman from Markley that stood up, and did she get booed? Yes. And were people mean to her? Yes. And it's wrong, and nobody should have been mean to her. However, John and Bob and anyone watching at home, can someone tell me, if you are in a room, and you know you're in a room where everybody hates you, right? I'm here, they don't hate you, they hate your employer. But you put the uniform on, and you're there for a reason, right? And you stand up, you misquote someone that had spoke earlier, and then you take a nice big deep breath. You say, I work with Markley, and then you pause for boos so that we can make sure everyone hears the heckling, and then you keep going. Okay, that's fine. It shouldn't have happened. The lady was mistreated. It was wrong, but at some point, I think the adults who put on their Markley polo shirts and walked in to just kind of sit there and heckle, and then you get the Markley people yelling with the get a job and the move out of the city and all this stuff. At some point,
You got to put it past you now, though. To me, it's almost sickening to listen to it. I'm just saying.
I don't understand what the temporary CO. As a temporary CO, everyone experienced guys tells me your words are a great weapon. I definitely should have had a warning before getting physical. I can't process that statement.
Yeah, and I just don't see too much on the physical side.
And this one makes sense. The courts would never put up with that behavior. Well, it wasn't court.
It wasn't good. This is what people do. Is they want to just make their
but
point.
Again,
so
that youngster, she goes to school, and she knows when you can talk and when you can't talk.
John, in school, I have never once had a kid speak out of turn and started without anyone telling the kid to stop, calling for an SRO to remove the kid from a classroom. There's rules and there's a way that you enforce them, and that's not the way it's done. So
what would you do with a kid in your classroom, 14 years old, decides to start yelling and screaming from the back of the classroom?
So first, you would say, a kid yelling and screaming at the back of my classroom.
Well, let me just finish this text.
Okay.
They would have been removed. There has to be decorum at public meetings.
They might have been removed, but
I agree.
You don't start there.
So a kid acts up in your class, 14-year-old, the kid starts rabble-rising in the back of the classroom. What do you do?
Yeah, so and the best example might be like a school assembly, and it happens, and you walk over, and I'm not a police officer, and I know it's not a comment on police officers do amazing work, but there is a difference between
they have to keep peace.
Person with a uniform and a person without one. But as a teacher, yeah, you walk over, you say, hey, what do you think you're doing? right? Are we serious right now? You need to stop. And if they don't stop, you say, if you don't stop, we're gonna have to call for an administrator or for security or whoever. And then if they continue, that's what you do. But what did you do before? You didn't go right to send them in and haul them out. First, you go over and you say, are you serious? Like, knock it off. What are you doing? Everyone does. This isn't breaking news. I don't know.
Let's just take the bad side of the coin here. Everybody knows a 14-year-old that can't be arrested. And I can remember there were a bunch of bullies who used to beat the daylights out of a little kiddo. And the little kiddo had a brother who was 17. So the brother shows up during one of these beatings and beats the stuffing out of all the kids. Beats them like they're falling down on the ground, kicking them around. They well deserved for what they had done to that little kiddo. And the cops show up, they couldn't arrest him. He was 17.
Nothing. I'm sure they can arrest him.
Nothing. The cops at that time. I'm talking like
okay. Definitely
in the 80s. But these kids know the rules. They can't do anything. I'm only 14.
I think before you send a police officer to remove someone, because it's still not clear who sent. Well, it is clear, but the moderator of the forum was letting the girl. She was yelling because she didn't have a microphone. Nobody was standing up. She wasn't acting erratic. The moderators who were on the stage, you could see the whole thing, were not asking for her to be removed, and that's really all I'm saying. If it was as disruptive as we're now trying to say it was, I would think that somebody running the meeting would have said that she needed to stop her to be removed.
All right, let me try that.
Another comment coming up here, Bobby, then you can give me your mindset.
When a teenager is involved, situations escalate instantly because adults instinctively protect children. Seeing security handle a minor overrides the crowd's respect for the rules.
I think we watched that happen on the video. That I think the situation escalated when that happened.
So before we run out of time, do you have anything coming up in your future, like any priorities, a couple of things you might want to work on, or?
Before I do that, because I'm now going to get 17 phone calls that tell me I can't believe you said this again, and you don't like this one, and you don't like that one.
No.
I want to say it again. I have respect for the Lowell Police Department. I disagree with what happened. Respect for there are people on both sides of this issue, and I don't think that it makes you a bad person or dumb. I think that there is an instinct. I've tried really hard not to do this. I think there are some people that would tend to agree with me that are jumping to really kind of the nastiest version of the conclusion, and there are also people who disagree with me and who might agree more with at least John or whoever, who are frankly taking what we all can see with our eyeballs and adding 4 or 5 more layers to make it sound even worse, and I don't think that either of those cases are true, and I think because of what it was is how you can have reasonable people disagree, but I think we can be reasonable about what happened and figure out how to not have it happen again. Anyway, what do I have coming up? At the last meeting, I had a couple good ones on Tuesday. The parking thing's going with Finance Subcommittee. I'm excited to dig into that and get to the bottom of it. And then the other one was requesting a report on all the enforcement at the Blue Shamrock and any other business at 105 Market Street. That also got a good amount of support. And one more time on TV, really thank Councillor Rourke for jumping in wholeheartedly on that one. I like a business as much as the next guy, but I mean, this is a business where, they're right across the street from the major parking garage. You got broken beer bottles on a Saturday morning. You got red Solo cups all over the place. You got broken windows. There's a level of care that you need to have for your property if you're going to operate a business in the city of Lowell, and I think we need to make sure that everybody's held to the same standard there. And then the last one, which was really fun, was the unanimous 11-0 on another bar that has a tough track record with the City of Lowell Code Enforcement, which was Smokehouse had put in for an outdoor dining permit, and that was voted down 11-0. I thank all 10 of my colleagues for joining me in voting on that. That establishment does not serve food, so I don't know what they were going to be eating outside, but it certainly wasn't food that they
All bars have food.
All bars have. So they explained this at the meeting. I thought the same thing. I think a couple of my colleagues thought that. According to the city code, and we need to change it, and I think we are working on changing it. According to the city code, they don't actually have to have food. They have to have a code-compliant kitchen. There is no mandate that they use that kitchen to make and sell food as long as they could, which I think is a problem. I think if we're going to say you have to have a kitchen and sell, I think the intent of you have to have a kitchen is you have to sell food.
Well, I think the city council has to ask themselves, other than unexpected children, what good comes out of alcohol?
When we owned the bar, you only had really pickled eggs and ham hocks to eat. All right, I joined very late and still a great show today. Mr. McDonough, Bob, and Councilor McDonough, have a great 4th.
Happy 4th.
Bart,
Sorry.
thanks for calling in and sending in text messages. We appreciate you.
It's always fun, Bart. Yeah, and again, I'm sorry. Now I got to say it again because I can't tell you how many people have called me to be either upset or happy. And on the Markley thing, there are good people on both sides of that. Yeah, it's okay to disagree.
Markley, on the Markley thing, I think the cop did the right thing.
Right.
Keeping peace is paramount.
I would want to hear from my city councilor. Well, actually, she's not my city councilor anymore. I'm sorry.
Rita?
Kim Scott.
Oh.
Kim Scott. When it comes to Markley,
But when did you ran? Why wouldn't you want to hear from her? She's a smart woman.
No, on that, yes, she's smart budget-wise, okay. Kim Scott's a very smart person, too.
Yeah, and it's her
She
neighborhood.
is, yep.
But I would want to hear from Kim Scott, because a few things. I think, number one, she promoted it more than anybody. Was she there? Obviously, she was. I'd like to see what she says, not just what John says. I listened to everything he said. I just don't, all I know is when that young lady was, the cop went and touched her arm to bring her out, he wasn't hurting her.
No.
He was trying to get her out of harm's way, period. And then it should be over, but it's not. I see how much the issue
Sean,
is coming
while
back
I got
here.
you here, this business where we were going to be a front-runner city, and I didn't really look into that too much. I was all for it because Danny Rourke liked it. I trust Danny Rourke. I trust his judgment. So I got behind the thing just to say, I think let's go with it. Danny Rourke wants it. I think we should go for it. Can you bring me up to date what happened to that?
So I've been, and depending on the headlines of the week, it's whether people like it or don't like it, and I think that's okay. It's what I'm saying about everything else that I say is I try and just tell you what I think, and that's just my opinion. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You can disagree with me. We'll agree on something else later. I've been hesitant on this front runner city thing. I think it's a great opportunity, or it was a great was. I've had some reservations. I've had some questions and concerns because I do think, still today, I still think we need more information. There have been some headlines that I don't fully understand. There's a lot of people talking about signing an MOU. I was at that meeting. It was an informational. We didn't vote to sign anything. The council votes on signing these things, right? And that was an informational of a draft MOU, and it said draft. It hasn't come back. So I just think when people get kind of, just like I'm saying with the 14-year-old, I think sometimes we add a little bit of flavor that makes things worse than they are on both sides of this one. Where, I'm seeing headlines of the city signed MOU and then we got ghosted. Well, we didn't sign the MOU. We had a draft.
If that was
We didn't commit to anything yet.
Excuse me, but if that was a 14-year-old boy, right?
Right.
And the cop grabbed his arm, what do you think you'd hear then?
That's why I'm not talking.
What do you think you'd hear, though? You would hear the total opposite thing. They'd kick him in the rear end, throw him out. That's what you'd hear.
It's why I'm also, but on the mark on that, it's why I'm not talking about it. The cop was fairly gentle with the girl. It's not about the grab. It's about whether she needed to be removed.
This is the last time I'm going to bring this up.
Jeez.
Good luck to Mike Minow. He's coming to Lowell today, 2:30 at the Owl Diner. No, I'm sorry, 12:30 at the Owl Diner. Mike, it's going to be 1,000 degrees. Good luck with the.
I don't think the Owl have AC.
Oh, the Owl's going to. Oh yeah, they're going to. But it's going to be toasty.
It is.
Toasty. So good luck with your attendance over there, Mike. Thanks for coming along.
But if Ned Tarmey, someone we both loved, man, John, and
Good guy.
yeah, he passed away not too long ago. Crazy, beat up by some guy with a brick. Imagine that.
Jesus.
But he would have loved you. Oh, he would have loved you.
Let me just give you
He would have
guys.
been donating
On the-
to your camp, buddy.
on the front runner, and I know John wants to talk. Just on the front runner thing, I think we continue to need more information, and I think this is part of why I've been a little bit hesitant. I think it was. I agree with you. I think Danny had all the best intentions. I think that it still could be great. I think he still deserves to be commended for going to Canada and trying to bring something good to the city. We got to make sure that the details are there and that we actually know what we're signing up for when we do sign up for it.
Well, since lying's not against the law, this is what comes up with. Let me roll back the history a little bit. You guys are talking about older politicians. The best example I ever saw of a guy taking control of a meeting and nobody did anything to him. His name was Buckles Nolan. His real name, Leo Nolan. Lived down here in Bishop Markham. Shows up at a city council meeting, and he had already griped that the kids are playing basketball at 3 o'clock in the morning across the street from the Bishop Markham Housing Project, and it's got to stop. So the city council did nothing about it. Nothing. Buckles shows up at a city council meeting with a basketball.
Dribbling it.
There's no law against it. So he's just standing there, boom, during the meeting, boom. And so the mayor says, hey, Leo, stop that, boom. He keeps bouncing the basketball. And they finally say, okay, Leo, they count out, okay, Leo, what do you want? And he said, I want the basketball things taken down. And it's a longer story, but at any rate, that little bit of bouncing the basketball got it done.
That wasn't the only thing he's done, too. He's done a lot of things.
Oh, he was a funny guy. God bless him. Rest in peace. Good guy.
Yeah, I've had friends call me Buckles Hoey, instead of
Oh,
Buckles
Bob,
Nolan.
you're a
He was,
close second, man.
listen, what else? I mean, he was in the canalways on a tube, tied with a rope, and the rope broke, and down the canal he went.
That was to get out the low sun window.
Yeah, no, I know. But, again, getting back, let me say a few things about my city right now. The roads I'm using, a lot of hot top repairs have been done on some really bad streets. I mean, do we have more? I got one right in front of my house. I'd love to see a speed bump put right in front of my house. Dead end street, that all kinds of buses go down with those. Is it CSA children? The initials?
Depends.
Autistic?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're constantly coming down, and we got a pothole growing in the middle of my street, and too many vehicles driving over 40 on that road. I mean, come on. Children walking up and down the street all day, the sidewalks aren't all done, and whatever. Our time will come. I haven't called Eric on anything. I'm trying to leave him alone. Can drive some people crazy, you keep calling them for every issue. But like recently, that new restaurant on Lawrence Street, Bunny's, he came to a ribbon cutting there. Boy, it had at least 40 people.
It looked like a good crowd. I missed that one.
It was a big crowd. Eric came with his missus, and he even said my name. I don't know why he introduced me
You
to
got
the
in the
crowd.
video, Bobby.
Yeah, I was trying to
The
hide.
school committee member Bob Hoey.
I was trying to hide in the
They
restaurant.
showcased him. And here's
But-
Bob Hoey.
But no, I asked him why. He says, well, we're friends, ain't we? And I goes, yeah. And he said, that's why I mentioned your name. But again, I want to thank him for that, because these are really nice people, young couple that my son's age, and they're trying to make a living out of the old Fitzies, so.
And it's places like Bunny's, and there's a couple coming downtown too. I mean that's part of what makes Lowell, right? Like we have such a high density, and people can complain, and I'm sure now 4 people are going to text in and say the vacant stores on Merrimack, but we have such a high density of these they're small, family-owned, mostly food places, but you get a couple other things that aren't food places. You get, I'm usually, I get my once a month with Freddie Bahu, who used to have the Windsor shop. Now somebody else has
You
it.
got Cody's Market, too.
But you get Cody's Market. You get, Market Street Market down the street from me is another. It's a family. We get a lot of these small to small, mid-sized family businesses, and some of them, I mean, wind up remarkably successful.
Yeah, good. In my neighborhood, Good Times in George's Deli.
I'm looking forward. We got a new burger place coming downtown. I'm very excited to find out if they're good. I'm sure they will be, but
How's that
hope.
pizza by the slice going?
I love that guy. I really do.
And has anybody tried espressos in the last week or so?
Not in the last week, but I still like espressos.
I haven't tried them.
It's acquired.
Since they got their Board of Health problems. I haven't tried the pizza set.
Okay.
So we might try
I do, just for anyone, I mean, 4th of July is coming up, so if you're out and about downtown, I do free ad for WCP Slice House. I mean, the guy, he's a nice guy. It's his second location. It's a different business model than his other spot. He's got Richie's Slush. It's one of the only places downtown. I think it's the only place downtown you can get a Richie's Slush.
What is a Richie's Slush?
It's like that Italian. Bob, you know what I'm talking about, right?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, so I grew up in Methuen.
Perfect, Bob. That was no help.
I grew up in Minga Valley, right? So it's like Italian ice, but it's more syrup. It's very sweet. It's more syrupy, but he's got a couple flavors of slush. He's got pizza by the slice. He's got little hand pie calzone things. It's cheap. I get a lot of people who live downtown walking across the street. They're getting a dinner for $7. You can't beat that as a deal. $7-8 for 2 slices of pizza and a soda. It's pretty good.
Can you sit in there and eat it?
You can.
Good.
You can take it to go, or you can sit there and eat it. Yeah.
Did you go to Methuen High?
I went to Essex Aggie.
Okay.
How's Wings Over Lowell doing?
That is my Tuesday night dinner. When the council meeting, if the council meeting goes past 9:45, I'm going to order wings over before I leave. They are wings over Lowell. They're not, but they are. They are what they've always been. They are the same way they were when I was getting them a little bit later in the evening when I was in college. Yeah, that's what they're for. They're a good late night spot. They're one of the only places. They're one of the only places that sells food that's open, I think, till 2 a.m.
Now, have you ever been to the Sweetheart Inn?
No.
It's in Methuen.
Okay.
And Monday Night Dinner Club is going there on Tuesday. But, oh, my God, it's almost, if not as good as the Village Inn when it comes to prime rib.
All right.
Oh,
Sweetheart Inn. I'm going to look it up.
Delicious.
I go my go-to on small businesses that Lowell don't have. My go-to, if anyone listening ever finds themselves in Methuen, you can't beat Thwaites. I don't know, John, have you ever been to Thwaites or Thwaites?
No.
So Thwaites in Methuen. It's over near the Lawrence line. They've been there for over 100 years. They sell these traditional English like meat pies, hand pies. They do some traditional ones. They do some kind of fun flavors. You can get everything from steak and kidney to a pork pie to like the French pork pie to they'll put buffalo chicken in the thing. But they're phenomenal. They sell them hot. They sell them cold.
Have you been to Good Times yet?
Yes.
Good Times, knock them out of the ballpark desserts.
Okay.
When you go up to Good Times and you get yourself your turkey dinner, whatever, take home one of those pieces of pie. Absolutely outstanding.
I might bring some. I might go next time I go see my parents. I'll buy some cold ones. I'll bring them in on a Tuesday. You can heat one up later and eat it.
Yeah, when you buy the desserts and everything, and you go out with 4 people, like my son and my 2 grandsons, you're looking at like $250 total bill. It's not cheap anymore.
Well, nothing's cheap. Look at gas. Gas
No, I
is
hear
finally
you.
coming down, but everything's expensive.
We got new local business. It's not. I think they're coming up on their year anniversary. They've been around forever, but at this location, they've been there a little over a year now. Is the Pizzelle Bakery on Market Street. Shannon does a great job. You can get breakfast pastry, but her desserts are really good. No, we're doing okay. I know, we have our problems, but we do have between Bunny's is not in downtown, but we got a couple good local businesses that have either opened or that are seemingly establishing themselves in a stronger way. Bookstore's coming up. I think been there 5 years now. In addition to the long times, I'm not going to knock Athenian. They've been there forever, but I don't think anyone's surprised they're still there.
Hey, the what is? I never heard of it.
Yes.
Where was the what?
Thwaites is in Methuen. Or Thwaites. Thwaites is in Methuen. It is the best. Also, tomato sausage, also good. I've yet to have a bad pie from those guys.
What does the Thwaites do?
Thwaites it's an old butcher, but the money they make is off their pies now. They sell big, like you take one home, cook it for dinner, and then they also sell like hand pie sized pies. They're phenomenal.
Well, you mentioned the word Minga.
I'm not supposed to say that on TV, am I?
No. That was a great word because one of my best friends, which passed away because of lung cancer, Dave Rich, I was his best man. He was from Methuen. Minga constantly come out of his mouth. Constantly. But most people from Lowell remember a place called Cedar Crest. That's in Lawrence, by the way.
Yeah.
But, did I love that place. It was something special. It really was. I don't know what happened. They closed it down, moved it up to Haverhill, and it never really recovered from the move.
Growing up in Lowell in the 60s and 70s, we had all these nicknames and all these ethnic slurs that you'd be arrested for saying the words nowadays, but everybody, whether you were Irish, Italian, French, I don't care what you were, there was a slur for your name, and you answered to it with a smile.
You know,
That's
John,
just the way of the world way back then.
You know, when you talk about the sports around towns, Tewksbury, football, Methuen is not a very big city or town, but they're tough. They're almost like Tewksbury, how great Tewksbury is at football. Methuen's good at all-around sports.
Very good at running and drumming.
Yeah, it's a great school system.
That he was, he died 2 years ago now. Coach James in Methuen he was the track coach and the wrestling coach, and one of the reasons that Methuen had such a good running program is I don't even know if James ran. He just liked winning. He was the wrestling coach and he liked winning, so he did track and cross country, and we were good at it. He started a middle school track program. He would recruit kids because he knew he was competing with Central Catholic. So he'd get kids coming in to run for fun when they're in 5th grade. He'd grab them and he'd say, "You're not going to go to Central Catholic. You're going to come here. You're going to be my triple jumper." Imagine looking at a 10-year-old and saying, "You're going to win a state championship in the triple jump."
Yeah.
Guy was nuts.
Lowell,
awesome.
They just had a birthday party for George Balser, 90 years old, lives down on Plum Island. Wrestling coach for 60 years, still doing it. You know, incredible. He's quite the man. And they got their big problems down there on Plum Island, believe me. The ocean is taking it away, slowly but sure. You know? I don't know if you caught that in the news, how some guy had a bunch of American flags out there, and is this the place you're talking
This is
about?
the
They're about to get more people involved than
This is the
they've ever
place
had.
in Methuen.
It's so good.
They look good, too.
So what kind of pies they got?
Anything you can put inside a pie crust. They got their traditional pork and meat. They got chicken pie. They got buffalo chicken pie.
They got kielbasa too.
It's a full old school butcher. They make a lot of money on pies now.
Market. Where's the address? Certain Street. That's all right, though.
We'll go back.
I'll just look it up. I'll find it.
We'll get it.
I'll try that place out. It looks
36 Railroad Street in Methuen.
Yeah,
awesome. All right.
it's in the Centerville part of Methuen. That's what I call it now.
Remember,
And hey, no live show tomorrow. We got a repeat coming up tomorrow. And happy 4th of July, everybody. Stay cool.
Yeah, happy 4th of July. It's
yeah,
gonna be
and
fun.
don't forget Chensford's Parade, one of the best. They have a great parade. A lot of politicians have to pay to get in it, but they do it. You
But
know,
you can check it out on, if you go Chensford Telemedia YouTube,
yeah.
they'll have it on there. So you can watch it on YouTube if you're thinking 10 o'clock on the 4th of July. So if you're up, put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Chensford Telemedia.
And Sam Chase, right? Chasing the facts.
I'm sure you'll see Sam broadcasting there, and they usually switch out the people who do the microphone there. Good time.
You should call Sean in when she's here.
Oh.
Evelyn Thorin and Sam
Oh,
Chase.
yeah, I come on with them a
You'd
couple
fit-
times.
Oh, did you?
I like coming on with them.
Yeah, they're very smart too
They're fun.
about.
They are very smart. They're fun.
Yeah, and Evelyn, she was on a school committee in Chensford for 20 years at least. Tremendous lady. I miss him, but John called me in and said, "You're here." That's why I jumped up and said, "I'm coming."
He called me and told me you were going to be on. So.
Yeah, when he told me you, I said, "I'll be there."
He wanted all those phone calls.
You gotta make sure you follow up on him. 'Cause
Say
you never
goodbye,
know.
guys.
All right.
Bye, guys. Have a good weekend. Happy
Yeah.
4th of July.
Be safe.